All right, I'm gonna wax up the way tubes and the tabletop and whatever else I need to wax up right now. But before I do that, I'm gonna use some of the spray away glass cleaner to clean it off. It doesn't leave anything. A lot of the auto guys, auto body shops use this prior to um, painting and stuff like that because it cleans it off and doesn't leave any residue. So I'm not going to bore you with the waxing of the tubes and the other stuff because there's plenty of other videos on that. Scott from My Growth Rings has a couple excellent videos on that. I've been doing a little shopping. I picked up a precision molding set. I believe all the blades that came with it and the manual was with it, so that's going to be a nice addition to the set. Then I also, over here, I've got picked up the biscuit joiner with the biscuits and the biscuit joiner manual. So that should be a nice addition to the collection. Prior to painting, what I do, or we do, is I've got some Summit paint prep here in the Sure Shot, and we'll spray that on everything and wipe it down to remove any grease so the paint sticks better. And then we gotta let that dry for a little bit. And then we can start painting some primer. Okay, I wiped it all down and I blew it dry with the air compressor hose. And now I'm going to apply some of this Rustoleum primer on it. I'm going to hit the insides first. Now, it seemed like a couple of these had a little bit of paint on the inside. More, I would say, more like overspray. That piece did not have any inside, but I did clean it out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit some primer on it, and then when I put color on it, just do a little bit of overspray with the color. Now, of course, this stuff I've got to shake up for a minute, so we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll apply the primer to the underside, and then a couple coats of primer, and then we'll flip it over and get the other sides, top sides. We now have some primer. I'm going to let that dry for a few hours and then come back and start putting some color on it. But there's 2 coats of primer on those. So far so good. Alright, we've got a couple coats of color on the base pieces. I think I might do one more. It's turning out pretty good. I'm happy with it. So I guess that's what counts, right? So we're finish that up, and then our next thing we're going to tackle is these caster assemblies. So I'll take some good pictures of that, and we'll take that apart. So I'm back out at the shop this morning, and I've got the first base tube. Well, first of all, I fixed my Mini-Lathe, made up a new part. Somebody in the YouTube comments called it my Mini-Lathe. So we're not going to be spinning at a high speed. We're just going to use it as I'm painting to slowly rotate it to make it easier to paint. Anyway, I got the first base tube loaded in here. I hit it with a couple coats of Rustoleum primer, and I got Rustoleum Phantom Gray gloss. I went back and forth on whether I should use satin or gloss. I finally ended up deciding to go with gloss, mainly because the paint appeared to be a closer match. So I guess if I don't like it, I can always repaint it. First thing I do is hit it with the pre-paint crep, dry that off, and then we'll put at least 2 coats of primer and paint on it. So let me get that cleaned up and ready to go. This is what I mean by using it to makes it really easy to rotate it, get coverage on all sides of the tube. Okay, I ran into 2 problems. With painting the base tubes. First problem is after I got the color on it, I decided it was too gray. But the main problem is when I first started painting this tube, right at first it was spitting out almost, I shook it up for several minutes and it was spitting out almost like something black. And then after I shook it a little bit more, then I finally got the nice smooth gloss finish. But anyway, so I'm going to hook up the drill and resand this and smooth it down, and then I'm going to go out and get something with looks a little bit more like silver. Here's what I ended up with on the base tubes. The color I like better. I'm not real sure about the finish. What I ended up getting is Rustoleum Universal Metallic Paint and Primer in one, and I got titanium silver. Like I said, I like the color better than the gray, but it's got some metallic in it. But I think I'm gonna end with that, or settle with that. Between waiting for the paint on the base bar to cure, dry, whatever, I'm going to start disassembling the caster assemblies. Now, several people have warned me that apparently they didn't use a die or whatever to set these. So you need to make sure you mark the positions of each one so that they go back in the correct position. So I'm going to use a set of Dimple dies here, and then I also have, which I'm missing one, some number stamps that I'm going to use to mark those before I take them apart. And the way you take them apart is you drive my Nemesis, the roll pin, out of them. So we'll do that, and then our bag and tag them, and then this part will get media blasted and painted, and that is gets painted with the copper color. These, you can see at some point somebody repainted the base on this. They did not use the proper colors, and these would have been polished, and they just painted right over them. So we'll clean that off and repolish them up. And the way this works is these cams come down, press on this, which presses this in and out, and the casters are in there. Well, there you have it. It's all disassembled. Hardest part was getting the roll pin out of this to get it off the shaft here. Other than that, it was pretty routine. So like I said before, our media blast these, polish that up, polish those up, and polish that up. I'll take this back, probably drop it in my ultrasonic cleaner for a while first, and then I'll try to figure out how to keep it from rusting. And that should get us to working on those. I also media blasted the foot level or lever from the caster assembly, and then I just used hand polished that using Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. When cleaning the springs up on the casters, this is the easiest way I found to clean them. Started out with a green Scotch-Brite, then I went to the red Scotch-Brite and just put it in there and turned it several times on the outside, and then like this I turned it on the inside, and I cleaned them up pretty good. I could have media blasted them, but then I would have had you know, it takes the finish off, and then I would have had to repolish them back up. For the parts that or the little spots the Scotch-Brite didn't get, I just used a little bit of 320 grit sandpaper and finished it up. They look pretty good now. The cams cleaned up reasonably well. I'm happy with those. So that's the last part. Now we can start reassembling. I have the cams and the foot lever back on the rod, and we'll see if you can see this, but for instance right there, there's two dimples that I put in to mark where this one went. There's a single dimple here, and there's a single dimple there. So this one I didn't have any dimples on because this is the first one. But anyway, that was my way of making sure that these go back correctly. So the next thing I need to do is go grab the end pieces, and I have to clean out for the pistons, and then we can get that on there and install the remaining bar, which I've also got. See, you can see some dimples there. To clean out the holes that the pistons go in, I used a 2-stone brake hone. Got to be real careful when you put it in there so you don't scratch up your new paint. But now I have functioning pistons again. So next step is to finally put it back together. All right, here we are. First one back together. I have to do a little bit of touch up on it, but not much. And anyway, the mechanism works freely, unlike the other side that I haven't done yet. It's frozen solid. But that's a good before and after comparison. Previous owner when they sprayed the legs, sprayed these, so I basically had to hand polish all this, but it wasn't too bad. Picked up a Dado and shaper insert off of eBay, and they look, well, actually the shaper insert came in the original packaging, and they look absolutely fantastic. So at least I don't have to do a whole lot of cleaning on those, or just wax them. Okay, got the porthole emblem all shined up and repainted. I have the first pass of media blasting done on the one of the legs, sides. Just got to go back and touch it up some more, and then we can start painting those, and then we'll be able to start assembling.